didn't call me, and she must know she's not gonna call me once we start here because
That one day, I don't know.
it's not gonna work. I'm sorry. I need to focus on this broadcasting. I cannot help her to connect that one because I've been here waiting since 7 o'clock this morning. She cannot come last minute. She said she's gonna call me on my cell phone. There's nothing. So. Hey, that machine, it doesn't want to sign out. I click sign out.
Doing funny things. I tried signing out and whatnot. But these people, how they doing things, it's sharp this comedy, but that boardroom is big enough. 3 people can sit there.
Yeah.
I'm going to so? Sure. Yeah, I sent you the proper thing, né? The proper, what you call, presentation. Just check if you can open that one. Okay, sorry, Bagi, so you saying? Okay, it's let me just do this. It's changing from my side, no?
Okay. Hi. Can you?
I'm good. I forgot my laptop charger.
Hey.
By any chance I will spare here?
Come on. Yeah, spare charger.
That's one.
Yeah, you can use that one.
Not yet. I'm just helping this guy out, so
No, it's not this one. It's so small. It's this one.
this one? This one?
No, not like that.
No, it works on your machine. It does that. Take that.
The back of the...
Yeah, it works.
Alright, thanks.
Sorry, about this one. Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah, just a minute for me. Yeah, easy for a
Good morning. Can people hear me?
Good morning, DDG. We can hear you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kaya. I will be the MC for today. We'll start in a few minutes. We're just waiting for just a few more people to join us. But if you can please bear with us with a minute or two. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Technology Innovation Agency's Grassroots Innovation Program product launch. My name is Kaya Kogoto. I'm a co-founder and director of two tech startups, XPark ATX, a software and mobile app development studio that creates bespoke software solutions, mobile and web applications, and Umoya Communications, a world-first mobile tech company to offer free calls to any number across all networks at any time of day. But I think most importantly, I'm a proud alumnus of the Leaders in Innovation Fellowship, a program by TIA's Innovation Skills Unit and the Royal Academy of Engineering. So I was part of the LEAF program in 2019, and we received training in the United Kingdom in London. So I'd like to greet everybody, all our guests, colleagues, and audience joining the proceedings via live stream. I'm really thrilled to be with you this morning. Our focus is on the 5 young innovators that we are showcasing, and as we celebrate excellent innovations by young innovators of our country. As you can see, for those of you who've got the program, we have 5 young men. I think in the next month or two, we'll be celebrating young women as well. So these are the 5 young men whose innovations are ready, and we are proud to launch them today. A special welcome to the Deputy Director General of the Socio-Economic Innovation Partnerships from the Department of Science Innovation, TIA board members, TIA acting CEO, the young innovators themselves, industry partners, as well as other members of the TIA leadership and media representatives. As we all know, this is an online event, so let's make this event trend. Please tag hashtag Grassroots Innovators, one word, Grassroots Innovator, one word, on all social media platforms and hashtags. I've been told that TIA would like to issue a challenge to you all. The person who has posted the most tweets and photos about the product launch at the end of this event will win a hamper with TIA branded goodies. So to promote the uptake of innovation products into the market, TIA has chosen these 5 young innovators with market-ready products to launch during this Youth Month. Oh, what an impressive and excellent way to close Youth Month. But before we start the proceedings, let's take a moment to familiarize ourselves with house rules. I'd like to ask everybody to please make sure that your mic is on mute, just to make sure that we don't have any background noises and disturbances. Another additional reminder is that we should always continue to observe all COVID-19 regulations, wearing your mask in public spaces, maintain social distancing, and sanitize as often as possible. Thank you. So as we're about to start, let's move on now. All right. So for 11 years, TIA has, as an entity of the Department of Science and Innovation, has been guided by its mandate, which is to bridge the innovation chasm between research and development from higher education institutions, science councils, public entities, and private sector, and commercialization. This milestone comes as the world faces the biggest pandemic in a century, COVID-19. TIA has managed to step up to the plate and continue to support government in creating new enterprises through its programs. Enough from me now. I will hand over to the man at the helm of TIA, the acting CEO, Mr. Patrick Krapi, who is going to deliver the welcoming address. But before I hand over to him, I would like to remind you all why is the driver of this organization. Right. Mr. Krapi was appointed in the position in June 2020. His last venture involved the establishment of the Technology Innovation Agency in 2009, facilitating the merger of 7 pre-existing business entities at the Department of Science and Technology with a total staff complement of 240 employees. Since then, he has served in various senior management executive roles and currently serves as the acting CEO of TIA. With a resume as impressive as this, it's no wonder he's at the helm. Mr. Krapi, over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks to Kaya. Good morning. Kaya, first thing I must find out who you are, because you seem to have conducted some investigations on me. So you seem to know more about me than I actually remember about myself, but thanks for the introduction. Yeah, good morning, everybody, and welcome to, I think this is a good day. It's a good day happening in the month when our young people throughout the country took to the streets and demanded freedom for all of us. And I think it's a month that we'll never remember, forget in our history. And as we bring young innovators today to showcase some of the solutions that they have developed, and these being directly connected to some of the really deep socioeconomic challenges of our country, it probably helps us to remember and appreciate why is it that on the 16th of June in 1976, the youth of this country took up to the street and demanded freedom, demanding opportunity to be who they are supposed to be. And I think today marks one of the signs of those times. And I think these events have been happening throughout the country. So it is no mistake that between ourselves as TIA and our shareholder department, we decided to do this. So Kaya, you've done almost half my work by welcoming people and making some introductory remarks. And I think you've made the job a little easier for me. But I will not talk too much about the Grassroots Innovation Program, lest I steal the thunder from the men to whom I and my organization owe really our honor to, for enabling us as TIA to run with this program. This is the Deputy Director General, Mr. Imran Patel, and he'll speak himself about the philosophical underpinnings of this program, why we established this program, what informs it, and what is it that we plan to do into the future. So I will not take away from that which he will say. Suffice to say that as TIA, we are an implementing agency on behalf of the department to roll out the Grassroots Innovation Program. It is one program of the many that TIA are running with, because part of our task is to help facilitate the establishment and growth of a highly dynamic innovation ecosystem in the country. So this covers a whole range of elements. But our primary concern is just to make sure that a lot of young innovators, our research community, universities, and other players in the system have a supportive environment to be able to conduct their innovation activities and make sure that these get appropriately scaled up in the NSI. I won't talk too much about the TIA strategy. You have mentioned a little bit about our mandate as TIA in terms of what we stand for, but there are two key things that I would want you to walk away remembering. What is it that TIA stands for? outside of reading lots of literature. And this really comes on the back of my own analysis of what is it that we should be doing as TIA from the past and going forward. It's really two things. One, we fund the development and commercialization of technologies. So we provide funding for that. But a key intervention, which is the second one, is really to help promote key systemic interventions that will enable innovation enterprise to thrive. And fundamentally, that's a key thing that we're responsible for as TIA. So we are a national entity. There will be a lot of partners and other players within the NSI who occupy and play a role in niche spaces. But our role as a public entity is much bigger than that. And I thought I should just highlight that from the start. But I must thank the department before I go too far, and through our DDG, who's really the main sponsor of this program, for the thought leadership that they have provided us in conceptualizing this program and setting up appropriate goals to be able to deliver results on this. And I think we've just started. It's really been 2 years to 2.5 years that we've started the program, but I think because of, the innovative, creative nature of our young people, we've been able to see products coming out of that. And I think for me, it's a great fit where we are. You have explained today that we are showcasing some of our innovators, and I appreciate the use of the word showcasing innovators. The title of the event today is called a product launch. And I was going to make the point to say, beyond just a product launch, it's also about showcasing our innovators, who are young, talented people who've been able to identify our societal challenges, responding to those using their creative abilities to be able to put these products on the table, for which we'll be seeking markets and so on. You've also explained why we don't have women today, because they have their special moment next month, in the month of November, that will be selecting a few women innovators from within our portfolio that we can showcase at an appropriate time. So it's deliberate that we've saved the special moment for women to honor them at the time when it befits us honoring them during the time. Now, the product that we're showcasing today, as I look at the profile of the innovators and looked at the products themselves, it is amazing that all of these are geared straight towards addressing, call them at a broad level, our socioeconomic challenges, but at a more specific level, service delivery challenges. And why this emphasis is important to just highlight is because it shows you that these are solutions that are developed by people who are in touch with the realities and the challenges of this country, and therefore wanting to bring solutions that respond to practical challenges, to the immediate challenges, rather than get into your blue sky research and then research for the sake of curiosity. But it's very practical solutions that are responding to various challenges around crime, around sanitation, around education, challenges confronted by people with disabilities, and of course, the increasing growth of e-commerce, and how do we help students to participate in that. And I think these are solutions that are pretty relevant to the current challenges. And for me, the selection of the innovators that came here today, when I looked at the profile, for me, it struck me as very connected to reality and doing really things that are practical. The question for me is, if we see products like this, how are we getting some of our innovators to be able to gain market traction? And what are the challenges right now? Now, there are a few things that perhaps I should say, and as you realize, I have no drafted speech. I'm just speaking straight from the heart. When I looked at some of the initiatives that we've traditionally been given in terms of support to our entrepreneurs, call it that way, we always have to distinguish between the support we provide to establish companies and the support that we provide to establish businesses. Now, some of the guys who are showcasing today will most likely be sitting at the level of companies with products. The distinction between this and being a business is that when you are a business, you are a company with a paying client, bottom line. Otherwise, we can then look like we are also innovating for the sake of curiosity and there's no market traction. But for us to make sure that there's market traction and some of our innovators get the opportunity to access markets, there's a lot of roles that have to be played by a variety of stakeholders. And your market segments are pretty straightforward. It's a corporate sector where we want to see some of these young innovators with the solutions being able to join the corporate supply chains, either local or global. The second one is your public sector market that we know is made of tenderpreneurs. So when you are an entrepreneur, you really need to understand how that market works. Very complex. It has established its own culture in South Africa, but you need to know how to navigate that. But it is important to emphasize immediately on this that I think the public sector has a responsibility to play its role as a lead buyer of some of the locally developed solutions in the country. In many countries that I have looked at in Europe, in Asia, they have what they call the Small Business Research Innovation Program, the SBIR. And it's a simple instrument that governments have put in place to ensure that national government departments procure early stage, newly developed solutions to solve their own service delivery challenges. There's nothing complex, there's nothing that should be theoretical about it. It's something that our government should be doing. We are working very closely with the department to establish a model that will be able to encourage government departments to procure locally developed solutions. There's a new instrument, once again, led by the DDG himself, together with my colleagues from the department, which we call the Technology Acquisition and Deployment Fund. It's intended to procure solutions such as these ones, help you to demonstrate these solutions in the market. And once they pick up traction in the market, then we can allow you to be on your own to continue to support this. But the third market segment, which is the more interesting but more difficult one, is one of simple customers in the street. It is interesting because it's very neutral. Customers there, they punish you for one thing, for price and for quality, end of story. And it's important for you to understand the dynamics within that market. The question is the system geared up to assist you guys to be able to penetrate these market segments? And I think for me, I'm posing this as a challenge to you to say, do an analysis of what these three market segments actually hold for you as a potential. Beyond this, and this will be my last remark, is really to say where to from here with these innovators that we have. From TIA side, we remain committed. Whatever challenges that you have, please know that the door is always open for you to keep knocking for further support. And our job is to help connect you with partners, to help connect you with investors, help connect you with the markets as you require. But ultimately, it's about scaling up. It's about seeing you becoming future industrialists in the country, running your own factories where you are able to produce these solutions and manufacture, create jobs, contribute to the GDP, see exports growing and so on. In that way, you will make money because there's the essence of business, but you'll be contributing significantly to progress in the country. And I think the current COVID pandemic and the impacts of it raise the bar in terms of what should be driving us when we engage in business, given the challenges of increased unemployment, SMMEs shutting down, and the list can go on. I would not be able to, I would not be reciting all of these challenges for you. But to say that you as innovators, you carry great responsibility towards this country yourselves. It's no longer about you. The solutions are on the table, but the important thing is to just make sure that you are able to see the difference that these solutions are making in people's lives. The question of money will follow after, and I think that should be okay. I'm going to stop here, but wish you guys good luck for the day, and I look forward to the discussion this morning. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kaya.
Thank you so much, Mr. Krapi. Thank you. We appreciate your comments and your highlighting really important things about the importance of the role that TI and the GIP continue to play in the South African innovation and technology landscape. Moving on, I am now going to call on the DDG for Socio-Economic Innovation Partnerships at the Department of Science and Innovation, Mr. Imran Patel, to tell us more about the Grassroots Innovation Program. As he is getting ready, I'll just read quickly, just tell you a little bit about him. Imran is currently the Deputy Director General and represents the department on the social and economic clusters of government. He is a current member of the board of the Water Research Commission, Trade and Industrial Policy Strategies, and a past board member of Mintech and SASCAL. At the DSI, he is responsible for strategically driving a portfolio of investments and policies that advance the social and economic development priorities of government through science and technology-based interventions. Particular areas of focus include science and technology for sustainable development, R&D-led industrial development, environmental technologies, and the next industrial revolution. Mr. Patel, over to you, sir.
Thanks, Kaya, and thanks, Patrick. I think in future when I get invited, I would need to negotiate with the team to say whether we do the kind of introductions or not. It's a bit embarrassing, like Patrick. I think there's a lot more we could do. But thanks for those kind words, Kaya, and really for the excellent program direction. I'm not going to say much, really, because the day actually belongs to the grassroots innovators. But what I do want to say is that I know that we're in Youth Month and we're saying it's Youth Month. In fact, for me, this next decade needs to be the decade of the young. Someone recently was having a meeting with the minister and shared the kind of resident coordinator of the UNDP. So if you look at all of our core problems, whether it's poverty, inequality, unemployment, youth empowerment and development lays at the core of solving some of those problems. And increasingly we face with more and more challenges if you look at the kind of recent unemployment data. So the Grassroots Innovation Program is but one of a small attempt to begin to correct this big challenge that we need to confront together. And on this basis, it's useful for us to just reflect briefly on one of the 5 challenges that the president challenged society to do in the first State of the Nation address of the 6th administration. And he said, let's work together, whether it's the private sector, ourselves, and ensure that we create 2 million opportunities for young people over the next decade. And I'm hoping that the Grassroots Innovation Program, is a small attempt to do this. We are committed to grow it. It's not an easy program to get scale because of the support that you need to provide. But today's launch is part of that milestone of growing something that Sepang and Nontlantla, and they are the true drivers of this program, and some of the TIA colleagues, when we conceptualize this, to say we need to get it, initially it was a program for 5 as a pilot, and we now scaled it up to 100. How can we take it to 1,000 and 10,000? And that means really getting the systems properly organized so that we can scale. So these innovations like today's product launches, etc., are very useful. And I really want to encourage both TI and the grassroots innovators to share with us their experiences as they go along. The Grassroots Innovation Program can do just so much. What needs to be done is for this program to be linked up with other partners, with other initiatives. I think Patrick mentioned this very carefully. This is about very eloquently. This is not just about one program. As the DSI, as government, we're increasingly trying to bring together a whole range of efforts together so that they are centered around young people, around women, around previously disadvantaged groups. He mentioned the Technology Acquisition and Deployment Fund, but we have other projects that we're working with small business development, with the presidency, the SA Youth Platform. And increasingly, I attended 2 meetings yesterday where I can really see this gelling together of the different initiatives to be able to achieve those big numbers that we need to achieve on do things at scale. So as I said, the day actually belongs to the innovators. I also really enjoyed the way that the program was structured. Unfortunately, I need to leave to join another meeting. This meeting is being recorded, so hopefully I can get a copy of the recording. The new COVID way of working allows me to catch up in the evenings on meetings that I've missed, particularly things like this. But I found the design of the program interesting, where following each of the showcasing, we have responses from our partners, people who've been wanting to walk this journey with us, whether it's in CETA or Black Business Council, etc. So there's rich insights, both in terms of the project launch, but also in terms of the comments that others would make, because our requirement as a Department of Science and Innovation is to make sure that we design things that have impact, that have transformation. And I'm very confident with the leadership provided by the TIA team, by the DSI team, Sepang, Ephraim, and colleagues, that we're getting there, and we value the ongoing learning, the experiences, look at how this unfolds, how some of the product launches actually hit the market. What do we learn from that? So I hope that this is not the final engagement with the grassroots innovators who are going to launch their products. We would really value your honest opinion, your criticisms, your insights in terms of how we can grow this program so that we can begin to impact on not just thousands, but tens of thousands of young people. So forward to the year of the decade of the young, the youth. And this is a small step in terms of that important mission that we have as South Africa to empower young and develop our young. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Patel. Thank you so much for that address. If you look at history, innovation doesn't come from just giving people incentives or grants or money or anything like that. It really comes from creating an enabling environment where the ideas can connect, where ideas can thrive. And I really do believe that programs like this and institutions like TIA really tend to foster those enabling environments for innovators to thrive. Thank you so much, Mr. Patel. And this morning, we shall move now to the main part of the program, which is really to launch our innovation products. Before we start, please note the following. We're going to hand over to the innovators now to present their products and innovations, and this will be followed by a response from industry. So we'll have one innovator speak, and then we'll have an industry response. I'll read out the name of the innovator. The innovator will pitch their product, and if there are any questions, please post them on the chat box. They will be responded to on the chat or by email. Media inquiries must please be directed to Mr. Vusi Langa. His email address is on the chat box. It's vusi.langa@tia.org.za. Or Kagiso Ndanga, also his email address is on the chat box. And business-to-business meetings, please to be directed to Ms. Cynthia Sitole at tia.org.za. So everything will be on the chat box. If you want to know anything, we'll just make sure that the team keeps updating that information. So for now, it's going to be a long morning. We're going to announce the first 3 innovators. This will be followed by a short break, and after which we will resume with the next innovators. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reason we're all here this morning is to shine light on our 5 innovators who have each been given 15 minutes to tell you more about their innovations. So, as we all know, the world needs more dreamers and the world needs doers. But above all, the world needs most are dreamers that do. And that was said by Ms. Sarah Brethenach, who is an author and a philanthropist. So now, over to our first innovator. His name is Philasande Bongo. Philasande is a 34-year-old from Johannesburg. His project name is Owned By. Owned By is a digital platform that gives each appliance in your house or in your office and devices a unique online profile and history that permanently links it to the owner. This link makes it possible for these items to find their way to the owner in case they're lost or stolen. The purpose of Owned By is to discourage at least 10% of crime incidents that involve an appliance or device. These items affect a range of incidents, including common robberies, burglaries at residential and non-residential premises, as per the South African Police Service crime stats released annually. Over to you, Philasande.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Kaya. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Philasande Bongo, founder of Owned By Technologies. We're a software development company behind Owned By. I have been fortunate to be the one presenting. Busisiwe, our co-founder, was actually supposed to do this. I'm going to ask Ruan to please play the short clip.
This is Cindy. Cindy loves shopping and knows a great deal when she sees one. And right now she's found an awesome deal on a secondhand laptop on Facebook. But there's a problem. Cindy is in Cape Town and the seller is in East London. She's heard many stories of people getting scammed when buying from online classified platforms. Yes, the seller sounds and looks legit, but the problem is that scammers don't sound or look like scammers. So what does Cindy do because she really wants this laptop?
All right. The problem faced by Cindy in this video goes beyond geographical limitation. The dawn of access to the internet and online marketplaces has actually made sure of this. I am trying to share my slide. Can you see my screen?
No.
Nothing yet, we only just see you.
Okay, it's spinning.
Let's try.
I'll sort it out quickly.
Okay, just give it.
Should I download the log again?
Oh, just me to be.
Then just download and try again. No, that's not me. That's Ruan. Not. Can you put up the point? Yep, that's fine. Please go on to the next slide. Regular country and continent, where our socioeconomic issues have led to a surge in crime. Majority of the crime incidents, as witnessed on law enforcement's categories, which is 17 in total, 10 of which are targeted at appliances and devices. What's worse is that each incident affects a human life. These items of value are later exchanged for financial benefit through second-hand marketplaces. The ease of transacting in these marketplaces puts willing and unknowing buyers at the doorsteps of willing sellers who don't necessarily have to be rightful owners, enabling the very crimes that hurt us the most. Next slide. Second-hand marketplaces have presented opportunity to consumers of different differing demographics, such as the youthful 25-year-old or under 25-year-old who buys and sells for their cash flow needs, to the under 35-year-old who's driven by aspiration, and the over 55-year-old who can't afford to buy at retail prices.
This is Cindy. Cindy loves shopping and knows.
Next slide. OwnBuy is an interactive asset management solution for business and household appliances and devices, ensuring that these are searchable online, linked to, and controlled by owners. It is accessible through a web and app interface through which you can connect as a willing buyer to the rightful owner through a secure gateway that is activated by the item's unique identity. Unique identity being a serial number or an IMEI number. You can dial *#06# on your device to discover yours. With more and more people turning to second-hand marketplaces due to limited budgets, they do so blind to please move on to the next slide, Ron. They do so blind to whether they're buying lost, stolen, blacklisted, counterfeit, or stolen or cloned items. OwnBuy sheds light to exactly this by giving this very consumer the ability to confirm ownership, connect a non-seller, and take transfer of the item's profile if they do agree on a sale, simply by searching on OwnBuy using the device's unique identity. Next slide. Okay, I've explained this slide. Next slide. So far, we've slide 7. Okay. Next slide. So far, we have achieved over 5,000 quick checks, which basically are consumers inquiring about ownership of a second-hand item, spread across various age groups. Next slide. What can we do? We can ensure that owners are permanently connected to their valuables electronically. For our B2B clients, due to their larger volumes of valuables, we can assist them with onboarding these valuables onto our system, periodic asset audits and valuations to ease reporting and compliance. For both our B2C and B2B clients, we can assist with asset disposal of verified assets through e-commerce for valuables marked for sale. Insurers can know what they're insuring through its unique identity, improve their underwriting process, better pricing to their clients, detect fraud, and generate and retain leads, which enable them to retain their revenue by following the device instead of following the person. We all know how irritating cold calling can get. Willing consumers within marketplaces can connect to willing and rightful owners, and local law enforcement and consumers can identify valuables linked to actual reported crimes. Next slide. Similar to a Google search, if I'm looking to buy a second-hand item, I can do this with great ease. Go on Google, go on Facebook Place, go on Gumtree, and do a search. So I'm looking for an iPhone, Samsung, whatever I'm looking for. Yet I cannot do this for what I already own. Let's go through a quick, let's walk through the platform quickly. Please play the video, the second video, Ruan. Without logging in, visitors can insert the unique identity of their valuable device, take it from there. By confirming and being able to is there someone talking? Oh, okay. And we take it from there by confirming the device blacklist status with GSMA, the global database for IMEIs, for all cell phone networks and manufacturers. We also will show the user who's searching the digitag applied to the actual owner. That being the status, whether active, stolen, for sale, or lost, and the ability to connect to the actual listed owner. Once registered, users can enjoy an interactive dashboard outlining all listed personal and allocated work items. There's feedback here. Okay. As the listed owner or user for asset allocated to you by your employer, they can apply statuses, which we call digitags, to each device and appliance. We then publish this with each quick check that is done on that specific valuable or device. A check gateway exists, which enables the visitor to connect to the listed owner, which the owner must accept, of course, to be able to connect. This is just a short walkthrough of the profile. Yeah, that's it, Yusuf. Can go back to the PowerPoint now. Next slide. Our competitors, locally and internationally, provide closed-ended solutions via web and app for B2B customers that are only accessible and visible to the said client base, which is actually useless when you are now looking at it as a second-hand consumer, a growing market. Next slide. Since March, we have managed to achieve market reach and interaction with the platform and convert visitors to actual users. This is by a small team with a minimal budget and minimal to no experience in marketing. If you look at the numbers we've been able to achieve, market reach of just under 9,000, converting to actual click-throughs on the platform, just under 20%, of which then converts to an average uptake of about 250 users each month. We are on 850, approaching 1,000, which is one of our first milestones from a metric perspective. Next slide. Our commercialization strategy is to introduce our device diagnosis tool, which will enable consumers to know the exact condition of an item that they're interested in buying, which we also believe is something that will benefit the insurance industry significantly. Our crime hotspot notifications based on a combination of data received from our users who've actually been giving us the location of where devices that they have been losing and marking as stolen. So far, about 220 users have actually gone and marked devices that they originally listed as stolen with reported case numbers. Combining this data with way to read this. They do this now quarterly. Previously, it was an annual reporting that they were doing. Next slide. Owned by is powered by a dynamic team of young entrepreneurs with a combined corporate and entrepreneurial experience exceeding 25 years, spread across banking, private equity, software development, and of course, second-hand marketplaces. I am Pila, the founder. Marno is our co-founder and leading the platform development side of things, with Busisi Watiki, who's unfortunately was supposed to be doing this presentation, but is well on her way to recovering from COVID. She has managed to dial in. Sounds much better now. Next slide. We are thankful for the support from TIA through its Grassroots Innovation Program, which has helped us go from ideation to where we are currently, a platform that users can actually interact with. We look forward to working further with them in reaching the average consumer within second-hand marketplaces and communities that are highly impacted by crime on our journey to actually successfully commercializing own buy. As we speak, crime does pay, as it's easy to sell or buy your proceeds or the benefits from a criminal act and later claim, I did not stolen, a buyer or a seller. Help us change this. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Pilar. Thank you. I mean, this is really wonderful, and I'm really excited to see this come into the market. The future is really promising because we have bright minds like you and Busi in our corner. So now I would like to invite Ms. Dumi Pili as our industry expert. She's the Chief Operating Officer at the Insurance Sector Education and Training Authority, to give us feedback from the industry on this innovation. Over to you, Ms. Dumi.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am really honored to be part of this occasion today, and I am here on behalf of my CEO, Ms. Gugu Mkhize, and the INSETA team. Just to say a few words on this, and please note, I'm not the subject matter expert in insurance. I'm an education expert. So I'm going to be talking as an education person and what this means to us as people that are having a heart for skills development and wanting to see change take place in our country. Although the COVID-19 pandemic had not yet reached our shores when this project was conceptualized, it turned out to be the answer to our current challenges that are brought about currently by the COVID-19 pandemic and the 4IR, which had already started causing a disruption in the insurance sector, in other sectors also. And that led then to us looking at the need to innovate and the need to reskill people that were at the risk of losing their employment to the challenges of these the pandemic and also the 4IR. And I believe that the products that are being showcased and that will still come through from this project will address both the need to innovate and the need to reskill, and also address the economic reconstruction and recovery plan of the government. The insurance sector by its nature must be at the cutting edge of technology, and this must be done through ensuring maximum management of risk and also ease to access to products that are being developed. The other thing also that we have seen over the years is also that the consumers of these products must be comfortable using the products and must have that experience, and that it should not only be that it is a product that must be used, but we must enjoy using this product in that it is easy for us to use. And I believe the products that we have been presented with today are addressing exactly that. INSETA is always on the lookout for strategic partnerships to collaborate on projects that will have high impact for the sector and also for the communities among which we deliver our services. Once this project was introduced to the sector, it was warmly welcomed by the insurance sector as something that will not only benefit the sector, but will also change the lives of both previously employed people that were affected by COVID-19 pandemic and the 4IR, and also create youth employment. And when I'm talking about employment, I'm not talking necessarily about people being employed by someone else, but that they themselves are employers of themselves, self-employment that will also eventually lead to them employing others. And I want to say special thanks to ASISA for being part of these interviews, interviewing these candidates and selecting the best innovation projects that they saw coming from the candidates. And for us as INSETA, we look forward to partnering with these prospective entrepreneurs, and we believe that the sector would also want to get in touch with and invest in these entrepreneurs, and doing that to bring lasting change to how we do business, and that will further create a maximum benefit for the sector, assisting us also as INSETA to reach our strategic objectives of transforming the sector, creating youth employment, and also of innovation. For us as INSETA, that will be our ultimate return on investment. And I'd like to thank Tia for coming to partner with us as INSETA. I would like to also say to the candidates in this program, we are looking forward to seeing you as entrepreneurs of the future. We are looking at sustainable businesses coming out of these products. And we are also looking forward to the sector embracing these ideas that you have. And good luck and thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for insightful comments. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to move on now. We are running slightly behind on time. So I'd like to introduce our second innovator. They say innovation is taking two things that exist and putting them together in a new way. And I believe our second innovation, I believe our second innovator, Mr. Thulani Khumalo, has done just that. Thulani is a 35-year-old man from Soweto. He is a founder of a technical plumbing project called Prevlick manhole covers. It's a smart hardware device that is installed in sewage manholes. It is tech enhanced with an ultra sensor and Sigfox network to detect and report sewage blockages on a plumbing app. The solution helps to improve easy reporting and thus solving service delivery issues and promoting clean water and sanitation. But ladies and gentlemen, who better to tell you more about his innovation than Thulani himself? Over to you, Thulani.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Thulani Khumalo, and I'll just try and be short for the sake of time. Let me just share my presentation. But before I could share my presentation, I just had a little task with everyone, and I'd like you to all please go to your phone browser on your Google and type prevlick.com. So this is our public reporting app, and would like you all to actually play around with it and see the ease of assisting to report water leaks and sanitation issues that you come across as you're driving or as you walk on by. It's not yet adopted by the city of Joburg, but we hope to actually try and deploy it with them. So let me just share my slide. Full screen, yes. Just a bit of background about me. I'm a social entrepreneur solving water and sanitation issues and challenges. I've done a marketing certificate through online courses through University of British Columbia. I have 8 years plumbing experience, and I'm a GASI problem solver, and that's my tag mainly. I'm passionate about solving environmental issues and societal issues. With that being said, now I come from a township that is largely polluted by spilling sewer, and this is an everyday problem discomforting many communities in South Africa. Hence, we've developed Prevlick, which is a smart manhole covers. So as a company, we believe we offer a world's first solution in wastewater management that reduces the effects of sewage pollution, which brings health risks and contamination of water resources, affecting municipalities and businesses. And the problem we are really solving globally, according to the World Health Organization, 1.7 billion children under 5 die from waterborne illnesses and unsafe sanitation. But here in South Africa, over 55% of our rivers and dams are choked in sewage. Ladies and gentlemen, this happens because government agencies still use telephonic reporting systems, which lead to daily backlogs of up to 2 weeks, theft of steel manhole covers, and damages of concrete manhole covers. Also adding to that problem is an ever-growing urban population, which increases the usage capacity. Now, I will just make a simple case scenario. Around Zola, every day, there are 83 blockages that are reported on a daily basis. The significance of this is it impacts on human health, economic productivity, and the quality of fresh ambient water resources and ecosystems. It also causes damage to road infrastructure, creating potholes. One estimate puts this cost at 3.5 billion per year, with the problem rising each year by 24.5%. The solution we've developed, we started in 2019, piloted our first sensor. I think you've seen on the introduction slide. That was a sensor alone. It's a wired sensor. It uses GSM. We piloted that in 4 locations, most affected as 1 school and 1 clinic, and also 2 affected households, a group of households. From that, the reason we did that pilot is to actually test the viability of the product. Can it sense? Can it communicate? What better technologies can we use to actually have an early reporting systems? This is because through our research, we found that there's a huge gap between the service delivery, which is from the Johannesburg Water and from the communities, that between the communities having to go through a struggle whenever they report issues. It's either they have to call, which mostly because of affordability levels can't actually, they have to decide on buying bread or buying airtime to actually survive. They're dealing with bread and butter issues. And mostly when the youth who's almost in the streets normally don't get involved in reporting these issues. So majority of people would be the elderly who would need to walk to their municipal offices to report such issues. But when they report such issues, on the other side, where they are reported on the municipality side, there's a lot of reporting of wrong addresses, which then causes a delay for the community to receive such services. So we needed to find a way to bridge a gap between those two. So we've developed a smart manhole cover, which is our upgrade from the pilot project. It uses sound waves. It's an ultra sensor that uses sound waves to detect wastewater levels, which are configurable at a certain level, 1 meter above. Above that, it tells you if the sewage is blocked. Accurately so. It will only report when and only the sewage is blocked. It uses Sigfox network, which sends alerts to our plumber app and our CMS central management system. It has a 5 to 10 year battery lifespan. This is because it uses low frequency consumption. the app the smart manhole cover looks like an ordinary manhole that you walk across. On top, as you can see on the bottom, but underneath, this is what it's fitted with, the technology that it's fitted with. The nicest thing about polymer manhole covers is that they are made from recycled plastic, which they have minimum metal scrap value, so they're not immune. They are immune to theft, and it comes with a locking mechanism to actually prevent tampering. Now, this is how the manhole cover sits on a manhole, or when it's installed inside a manhole. And then this is how it will communicate through, send those signals to the base stations, from the base station to the Sigfox cloud, and then you can visualize it through your through your desktop or through a plumber app. This is how you would see it then for municipal managers, or for businesses that are affected by this problem we're addressing. They can see the level, the battery lifespan, they can see the temperature, and that. Why we chose manual covers, as I said, it has no scrap metal value. It's suitable for driveways, roads, and highways, and it's lockable, which makes it a suitable a product for us to actually innovate around. So it becomes an infrastructural part of the sanitation infrastructure. What the application of it, it's a simple manhole that is placed or installed, replacing old or steel covers covering the manhole infrastructure. The technology inserted inside then helps in identification of blockages before it becomes a problem, simplifies the waste water management services at community level by automating the response, generation of data to help identify hotspots, and also allows for digital inclusions through our public reporting app, which I hope you'll manage to actually use that link that I've shown you earlier. By just at a community level, the use of technology to report allows the community to report water issues and sanitation issues. Now, here's what I would like to, the second component, which is the public reporting app. This allows the general public to easily report water leaks and sewage blockages faster by just taking a picture. The app then uses your location to actually pin the addresses of where the problem is reported. And here's the link, as I've said earlier on. Why this? The aim is to simplify the process of reporting so that there are no reporting of wrong addresses, then improve service delivery and public participation. Why we've chosen to go to use a public reporting, an app for that instance, is because taking pictures is a fun digital activity and is a simple way for the youth to get involved in saving water. This is how it looks when you after you've reported. This is the image that goes to the your municipal offices or your Johannesburg Water, for instance, offices. They have the right address, they have the image to see what the problem looks like. But this is it's not a native app, it's a progressive web app, which now it has many capabilities compared to a native app. It works on multi-platform, it's low cost to build, no installation required, no updates. So it doesn't take space on your phone and it doesn't require any updates. It has push message notification. So once we've connected to the municipality in terms of push message notification, after you've reported the problem, municipality can send you a message back once it's fixed to alert you that it's been easily fixed. It uses low data consumption. It's a web app. It works offline and it's faster to launch. The component whereby municipalities use, which is the plumber app. Now, this allows municipalities to actually give the service and receive alerts from the smart manhole cover and from the public reporting side. So whenever you report blockages, plumbers receive it also on the app, which this one is a native app. And also when the manhole covers, the smart manhole covers reports, plumbers can receive it on their plumber app. Now, this app allows the plumbers to view the type of job. If it's a water leak or it's a switch bus, they can view the job and the location. They can accept it if they are busy, or they can accept it if they are not busy. They can decline if they're not busy. It's able to, they can view present, past, and active jobs currently being done by other teams. It has easy option to navigate so that they don't get lost when they navigate to where the issue has been reported. It allows plumbers to take pictures. So when plumbers arrive to actually unblock or to repair a water leak, they actually need to take pictures. This is for ease of data referencing between the municipal managers and for job card reporting. It allows the plumbers to take pictures before they repair it and take picture after they've reported after they've repaired the issue. It allows them to request help from each other if they don't have, if they find out they need help with the job that they are undertaking. It has easy navigation for UI, which allows the plumbers to actually view where issues are reported, what's the work where the work is done, or where are other plumbers situated. Now, everything that's reported goes to the CMS, the Municipal Central Management System. Now allows for the operations managers to actually see which active jobs, which new jobs are coming in, which accepted jobs are being done by the plumbers, which completed jobs are being done or have been done by the plumbers. And they can see which the number of jobs reported by the manhole cover and the number of jobs reported by the public. So everything is transparent, and it makes it easier for municipalities to work. How we measure impact of the technology is that by the number of blockages reported by our technology. Firstly, we have data of how many blockages and issues are reported by both the public app and the smart manhole cover. But now we measure the number of blockages reported and attended to on time. So the aim of this technology is to firstly improve service delivery and improve the reporting process, but achieve the fundamental part whereby the aim is to prevent sewage overflows, which bring the health risk and so associated pollution, which impact the environment. Also, the number of reported issues but not attended to, which also now depicts depicts on the plumber sides or on what they need to improve. And the number of overflows prevented from polluting the environment. So numbers of issues that were attended to. With this technology, we aim what we aim to achieve. Through our pilot project, we understood that a blocked sewer manhole produces around 15,000 liters of sewer per day. So with the technology, we aim to install sell 120 smart manhole covers in and around Gauteng in the first year. With 120 smart manhole covers, we can prevent around 1.8 million liters of sewer from polluting the environment, create 8 to 12 permanent jobs and part-time jobs through manufacturing of smart manhole covers and the technology that we insert inside. And have the public report 80% of water issues in Gauteng using our app, and save around 200 million liters of clean water lost through leaks every day. Now, the technology is ready, and we have 3 active pilot sites currently with the smart manhole covers. Through our local councillor, we managed to find manholes that were open. So it means that the steel manhole covers were stolen, and we installed our smart manhole cover to actually close off those open manholes that the lids were stolen to. And we currently have a live pilot that's running, and it's generating results. We work through a community model whereby locals contribute per household to actually pay for the services of plumber response. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Tulani. I mean, I must say you are a true inspiration. We wish you all the best, Futhi. Magwande. Now, let's hear feedback from our industry. I would like to invite Mr. Nawar Ramasa. He's the deputy head at the Black Business Council. Over to you, Mr. Ramasa.
Hi, thank you, Kaya. Thanks for having me on here. And I'm representing Mr. Mpati Nyewe, who's the deputy head at the Black Business Council. I am a business consultant and a business coach, specifically focusing or specializing on helping young tech entrepreneurs like Tulani. Tulani, I just want to congratulate you on what I believe has been, or what I've just witnessed as an extraordinary presentation, in that it almost ticks all the blocks. So well done to putting together such a presentation. I'm really taken by the technology and by its common purpose application in terms of a problem that is endemic in almost most suburbs around the country. So from that perspective, I think 10 out of 10 goes to you for the uniqueness of addressing a problem with a solution that I think is worthy of supreme praise. I just want to highlight at that point that you make no mention of patenting your product, and I just want to suggest that perhaps this product is definitely worthy of being patented, and you know, in terms of its impact, not necessarily only in the country, but I think beyond the country into you know, the wider environment. It's got application throughout the world if one wants to look you know, around that timeline. The other area that I think there's an opportunity that could be highlighted is you create a pathway for a public-private participation program between yourselves, the communities, and the municipalities. And I think that definitely needs to be highlighted more vigorously in your marketing efforts. I cannot highlight or say much more about the unique, you know, the uniqueness of the product and the differentiators. I'm not sure if there's any other competitors in the marketplace for the product, but it's something that maybe you want to touch on. And finally, I think from my perspective, I'm glad to hear that you've got a couple of, I think you mentioned 3 pilot projects underway, with one that is more advanced than the others. It certainly highlights that there's, you know, the proof of your concept. But, you know, from a commercialization perspective, you need to perhaps spend some time on, you know, what it is that is required to take you beyond where you are to where you want to be. So, you know, how much of funding do you need, and what is that funding going to achieve, and what kind of return on investments it could provide to a potential funder down the line. So again, I just want to end off with saying congratulations. I think it's a really worthy project, and well done, and I really wish you every success with it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nawal.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much for your insightful comments. I mean, as the innovator myself, I can truly identify with everything that you have brought forth. Know the need to protect the idea, and obviously funding. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've all heard that necessity is the mother of invention, and nothing reflects that more than our next innovation. Sipiwe Zuma is a 25-year-old from Inanda, in the beautiful province of KwaZulu-Natal. His project is a wheelchair integrated umbrella holder. The innovation is a retractable umbrella that can be retrofitted to a wheelchair for protecting a wheelchair user from the rain or harmful UV rays. The umbrella contains a mechanism that will allow the wheelchair user to pull a strap and open the umbrella, adjust its height to the user's preference, and close and retract the umbrella back in the wheelchair. But I mean, who better to tell you about the innovation but Siphiwe himself. Over to you, Siphiwe. Siphiwe, you may begin, please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You may begin the presentation.
Okay, thank you. My name is Siphiwe. My name is Siphiwe. I come from Inanda. That is where I was born and bred. That's where I grew up. Just a short background with regards to how did it all lead to this innovation. When I was 9 years old, I was unfortunate and involved in an accident where I was gunshot, and because I was still young, then I had to go through an amputation. So that brought change significantly in my life. So the things that I could do now, I could no longer do. Just to fast forward, when I went to tertiary, it became even more of a challenge for myself personally, because I was studying interior design. So when you attend classes, you have to carry your laptops and all these drawing boards. I couldn't carry them and use crutches and hold an umbrella, basically, when it is raining. So then there will be times where I would not attend classes, not because there's no umbrella, but because I cannot hold it, because my hands were otherwise occupied. So that frustration is the very thing that brought about this innovation. So now the vision of the project was to create a world where there are no more obstacles because of disability, but where everyone, including those who are physically challenged, are equally independent and one step at a time. We are saying one step at a time because we understand that this is something that is going to be achieved gradually, as they usually say that Rome was not built in a day. So there's a lot of things that needs to be relooked in the sector of those who are physically challenged. I would say I count myself privileged that I fall in the physically challenged community, because that is when I was able to first see what is it that we are struggling with and contribute my 2 cents into mitigating the challenge that we face. So the problem that we face, I discovered venturing in and trying to solve the problem for myself. I discovered that I was not the only one who was faced with the problem. You know, as a student with disability, I experienced a problem of always getting wet from rain. As I was saying, could not use the umbrella while I was using crutches to move around between home and campus, and as well between classes. And that this became validated, or it was validated by also another students who became my friends during my stay at Res, when I told them that I'm working on something like this, an innovation. So as you can see in the picture, I have Tinashe on my right, and I have Musa. Tinashe was involved in a bus accident when he was 5 years old in Zimbabwe, and he lost his arm. So he's struggling when he's moving around, when it is raining, and he's holding his umbrella and is holding his phone. He cannot open his umbrella on his own. So that means he's limited when it is raining. He cannot see on the picture. This was the first prototype that we were trying out. So when I spoke to Musa, he was really one of the people who encouraged me. It was as if I wasn't suffering from the problem myself, because when I looked at him, it was like it was twice the problem for him. Because this other day when he came to me, he was like, how far are you with the program? He came, he was soaked wet. He was coming just to attend the class. And he said he was soaked wet. There's no alternative for him to use. He cannot hold an umbrella while he's self-propelling himself with the wheelchair. I think there was also another time where I was approached by DUT Disability Unit with the case specifically for Musa as well, that he was requiring a shuttle to take him from Res to campus, and they said they cannot be in a position to offer a 22-seater for one person. So they were also asking me, how far are we with this innovation? Because really there is a cry for it. A possible solution that is there in the market right now for us, those who are specifically physically challenged, who are using crutches, whose hands are basically otherwise occupied. It is this, what you can see right in front of you. Nobody's taking the solution seriously. It's also another problem where if you have a person who's not in your shoes developing a solution for you, number one, is not aesthetically pleasing. It's for the lack of a better word, it's like this is a clown. So this is the only closest solution that is there to try and mitigate the problem that we are faced with. So that's led me to really dig deeper to see what I can do, first for myself and then for my colleagues. So this is the concept. We have two products that we want to develop. This one is a backpack for those who are specifically using crutches. So the backpack will have the umbrella integrated within the backpack. So you just pull a strap and then it will open and retract to better fit the height. And then this is the product that we have, another product, the one that we are launching right now, which is a integrated umbrella holder. So it can fit to any wheelchair. That is the plan, so that a person can be able to propel themselves and also be covered from rain without assistance from another bystander or another person. So I'll say this, that due to our capacity for now, we have went for a commonly used wheelchair. There's a lot of wheelchairs that are around, also battery operated wheelchairs, understanding that the market that we are targeting for now, it is students. So we went for a commonly used wheelchair in our capacity, understanding that as we grow, we want to facilitate for all the wheelchairs. So this is what we have done so far. Our revenue plan, it is to work closely with NSFAS. As we want to start by serving our universities where we have our fellow colleagues. So the students who are funded by NSFAS, there is a bursary scheme there that is for assistive devices. So the one that is for assistive devices, what they need to do when they need the product, they just need to send a code that they need this assistive device. Then NSFAS, with that bursary scheme, is able to pay, and then they're able to get it free of charge. We know that when people are saying something is free, obviously someone has to pay for it. So it's just that it's not them, but it is this bursary scheme. And we saw that this could be a very viable idea. Our team, we've been helped throughout by TIA. TIA has helped us. They funded us from inception until where we are right now. Without, we are very grateful for the Grassroots program. And we wish that really it needs to get out there, because we know there's a lot of people who are like us who really get stuck with regards to funding, not only funding, mentorship, inspiration. You know, they are constantly around us, helping us to get to know, because, for example, I'm an interior designer by qualification and an innovator. I did not know anything, the pros and cons of running a business. So Tia was there not only just financially, but with everything, opening doors, leading us to application, and so on. Then the traction that we've covered, this is what we've done so far, from idea, conceptualization, prototype, to the final MVP that we have right now. So this was the first prototype that we had from 2017. As you can see, it's a backpack. This is the prototype that we tried on Musa. And this is what we have done up until now. This is the MVP that we are going to be using out to test our market. As you can see, it is made out of PVC pipe. We went for something that is simple, because when you are physically challenged, you don't want something that is also going to complicate the situation that you are in. It is so strong. We've tried it, thrown it at the back of the van, and so on and so forth. Very strong and very durable. As I'll try to demonstrate with this video, I don't know if it's going to play. Basically, just to show how it works. very simple and durable. As you can see, there is the entire coverage. So yeah, if I can go to the next slide. Yeah, so yeah, that is how it works. And so what we've done so far with TIA's assistance with the grassroots funding, we have managed to move not only from conception, we've done conception, design, and then we went to doing our first prototype until we got it right. And then not only that, through the funding, we managed to make 20 MVPs that are ready to be tested out in the market. So this is what we have done. This has been the production. We've done everything. We are really, really proud and grateful for the assistance. As you can see from the pictures, all the production up until packaging. So yeah, it has been quite a journey, and we are really excited to see and get the feedback from our clients. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Spiwe, and congratulations on a job well done. Now, let's get feedback from our industry. I'd like to call upon Mr. Pule Mukwena. He's the Executive Head of Policy and Research at the Business Council. Over to you, Mr. Mukwena.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity to firstly congratulate TIA for the support that they're giving to our young innovators. The partnership between the BBC and TIA is really remarkable because we are on the one side advocating for policy change that will enable economic transformation in the country. And the support that we are getting from TIA, I think it's just phenomenal in the sense that it is supporting that very notion, because economic transformation is not just, maybe people think it's a political issue, but it's more, it's a business imperative and also something that needs to be done, because if it's not done, then there will be no growth in our country. I'd like to congratulate Spiwe for this emotionally driven innovation. I think, you know, for us people who are able-bodied people, it is difficult to comprehend the challenges that people who are living with disabilities have to deal with on a daily basis. And I'm happy you said that necessity really builds or drives a creation or innovation. And yes, Spiwe, I think you've done a very good job, and we will support you. We will ensure that, because the Black Business Council has as its members many people who are living with disabilities, people who are permanently on wheelchairs, and I think your innovation is going to go, you know, resonate with the needs of a lot of people. So yeah, the support is definitely there. And you've already received a lot of support from TIA's side. And I think whenever, you know, you are out in the market, please give us a shout. We'll make sure that we trace where you are going, and we'll be able to give you support. Coincidentally, Pila Sande is a member of the Black Business Council. He was, I think, in the youth group on the financial services side of things. So I was quite elated to see him on this platform. Congratulations, Pila Sande. You've always been, you know, innovative in your thinking. We'd also like to congratulate Tulani with his products. I only hope that whenever he reports the leaks, you know, there are people on the other side in the municipalities that will respond positively, because sometimes you can report and they just record the report and nothing gets done about it. So from our side, as the Black Business Council, we are really enthused by this innovations, because innovation is really crucial to the continued sustainability and success of any organization. So if you don't change, if you don't reinvent yourself, nothing will happen. You stagnate. So new ideas, that result in introduction of new products and services, we will always support. And I'm thankful and grateful for this opportunity that TIA has created for these young people. And I'm sure that the market will receive them with open hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kainse. Thank you so much, Mr. Mugwena, for your kind and supportive words. Moving on now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a long program, but I think we are more than halfway through our program. So before we commence with the last two presentations, I'd like for us to take a short break. You can use this time to visit the restrooms, drink some water, fill up on your tea, but please, let's be back in 10 minutes. So our time now is 6 minutes past 12. So if we can be back at exactly 12:16, I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, welcome back, everybody. I think it's been 10 minutes now. The time is exactly 12:16. And as promised before the break, I'd like to just dive in back into the presentations as we hear from our last two innovators. Thomas Edison once said, the value of an idea, excuse me, the value of an idea lies in the using of it. So our next inventor is Alton Jr. Seema Marupeng. He's a 33-year-old from Johannesburg in Gauteng, and he's the founder of Astor. Astor is an online grocery shopping platform targeted at students to remotely purchase their grocery essentials and have them delivered directly to their doorstep, thus giving them enough time to focus on their studies. But then again, as usual, I'll hand over to the inventor himself to continue with the presentation. Alton Jr., over to you, sir.
Kumo, I think you are muted.
Alton Jr., please unmute and you may begin your presentation, please.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
All right. As I said, I'll start from the beginning. Good day. My name is Alton Jr. Seema. I'm founder and CEO of Astor. The corona pandemic has not only devastated and disrupted many lives, it also devastated many industries. Not only that, it has also shown that there's much change and adaptation required for new technology in many industries. Grocery shopping hasn't changed in the decades it's been around. You still have to stand in long queues, spend hours looking for your favorite products and brands, not to talk about spending an extra hour or so going to and from the grocery stop, increasing your chances of exposure to the virus and putting your family at risk. Grocery shopping is a necessity, however, it is time-consuming, outdated, and needs some reinventing. Astor is an online grocery shopping platform that enables customers to remotely purchase their grocery essentials and have them delivered directly to your doorstep. Astor is relatively easy to use. You simply download the app, select all your favorite products and brands, add them to a shopping cart, select the delivery date and time, add your delivery address, select, make the payment, sit back, relax while we deliver your order. Our primary target audience are students staying in student accommodations and rental apartments, as well as household individuals between 25 and 35. At the current moment, there are 26 universities in the country with well over 1 million students. Surprisingly, Pretoria has half of them, which is 500,000, while Johannesburg has 100,000. So vast majority in Gauteng. Our market research indicates that students spend on average about 650 on groceries monthly, thereby creating an overall market of about 6.5 billion annually. Astor uses a unique business model that combines dropshipping with wide-scale distribution and logistics. Dropshipping is a retail fulfillment method whereby an online store does not own or keep the product itself. We simply take products sold by other retailers, upload them onto our platform. Customers are then able to purchase these products through our mobile app and website. Once the order is placed, it's then sent to the retailer where it's prepared, and then a third-party delivery service or partner then comes and collects and delivers the order to the customer. With this business model, we're able to generate revenue by adding 5% profit margin on each product we sell, as well as charging a 25% commission on the delivery paid to the driver. The level of competition in the market is relatively moderate. As you can see on the graph, Most of our competitors aren't directly involved in the online grocery shopping market, and those that are involved aren't targeting our primary target audience. Based on our research we've conducted with customers, most customers are skeptical as to whether they should pay an extra fee for delivery service fee. So what we've done is that we've partnered up with third-party drivers in order to reduce the cost of delivery, thereby drawing more customers to our side and making it easy and accessible. Accessibility and affordability is what we strive for. More than 75% of all South Africans run out of money on the 15th on every month. That's why we've partnered up with Mobicel in order to provide our customers with online grocery shopping credit. Not only that, we've also managed to integrate with the following retailers: Pick n Pay, Checkers, Discam, Clicks, Macro, Shoprite, as well as Woolworths. Other than that, we've been financially supported by the Technology Innovation Agency as part of the Grassroots Innovation Program that has helped us go from idea to development to beta testing the platform. We recently launched a closed beta in Bloemfontein with one of the student accommodations there. We ran the beta for 4 months, but we plan on increasing the beta. We're now currently in development stages, and the results have been good. We're looking to spend a lot of money on marketing based on the target audience and the way they behave. Our team primarily consists of 4 key members: myself, Alton Engineer as the CEO, currently studying computer science at the University of London. Natasha, who's a qualified, who has a bachelor's degree in information technology, as well as Seta, who also has a bachelor's degree in IT, as well as Joe, who also has the same. The beta test that we conducted for the past 4 months were as follows. In January, we earned revenue of 77,880, followed by 248,000 in February. March we slowed down because we somewhat ran out of capital, because it's very expensive to actually run a small closed beta like that. In order to reach the right numbers, you need to scale up. That's why we slowed it down to 143,000. Eventually, by April, we were supposed to have shut it down by March. Then we proceeded until April, the first 2 weeks, where we ended up with 61,000 in sales. Currently, right now, we've slowed down the process. We're currently looking for a seed capital of 3.3 million in order to reach 200,000 sales transaction, averaging about 500 each, and looking at revenue for 12 months of about 103 million rand. Our projections for the next 5 years are as follows. We're looking at the first year, looking at 103 million rand in revenue with a net loss of 1.69 million rand, followed by year 2, about 926 million rand with a net profit of 13.6 million in profits. And then as year 3, 2.9, followed by 97 million in profits. And then year 4, we're looking to slow down. We're looking at the growth being slowing down to about 5.2 billion in revenue and 176 million in profit, with the overall 5-year plan to reach 7.6 billion in sales and 266 million profits.
Presentation is not same. It's just the same. It's this one,
yeah? Okay. Finally, we're looking with the 3.3 million is be broken down into the following way. 1.5 million rand for initial stock, because we are new to the market and most retailers allow us to integrate, but the individual stores simply state that we need to purchase the products up front before we can actually get them delivered to the customer. So we're trying to build trust. We're putting up a deposit of 1.5 million in order to get access to more stores, because now there's a limitation to that. After an equipment cost about 75,000 rand. Overall working capital is about 600,000, because it's very hard for people to then fully commit into working on a new company without them having that level of security as to know we can work this. As a founder, yes, I've been working for free for the past couple of years, but you know, when you're trying to get people that are doing marketing and people with specific talents that you require for the business, it's very challenging. You need to somewhat secure their first 6 to 12 months of salary in order for them to work fully and comfortably. Marketing is another important cause. Also investing 1 million rand into marketing. Marketing is important because that's the only way you can get to your customers is through marketing. More so now that everyone is at home, so you need to be in front of them. You know, when they're spending time on TikTok, you need to be something that pops up. When they're watching YouTube and so forth, you need to be in front of their eyes. So you need to spend more in order to get more traction. Upfront driver acquisition cost is about 100,000 rand. The same issue we're having is that as a driver, as a new platform, it's that initially it's like the chicken and egg scenario, whereby yes, you have a new platform that doesn't have that many users, and then at the same time you're trying to recruit someone to partner up with you. They then look at, okay, you don't have that many users, what guarantee would I have if I commit my car or I commit myself to working under you? The same Uber needs. We need to then be able to compensate our drivers for the initial period or have our own fixed drivers for the initial period of the launch until we gain full traction and we reach break even. General costs include rent, Wi-Fi and so forth, 25,000 rand. And finally, as stated, we're looking for, as I repeat, 3.3 million rand in order to reach 200,000 transaction and reach revenue about 103 million rand in revenue. Thank you. Any questions?
All right. Thank you so much. We're not taking questions at the moment. So is that the end of your presentation?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. You can stop sharing the screen. And congratulations on an awesome idea. I believe that, you know, with apps like yourselves, with apps like yours, that students really can have a lot to do, and they can prevent being infected and will social distance properly. So I'd like to invite now feedback from industry. I'll call on Mr. Yongama Skweyiya. He's the managing partner at Isimovest Venture Capital Partners. Over to you, Mr. Skweyiya.
Thank you so much, Kaya, and thank you to Alton Jr. Firstly, just listening to the founder pitches, there's a common theme that keeps on coming through that I need to highlight, and that is the one of impact. Impact on the development of South Africa as a society, impact in solving key challenge areas that are hardly catered to currently, and impact on the potential to create sustainable businesses that could create new job opportunities for the future. Because of that, I would like to commend both the innovators for your visions in bringing these solutions and technologies to the market, as well as TIA for laying the fertile ground for which these seeds can germinate from. So, as you heard from the introduction with Kaya, my background is in venture capital and business development. So your pitch, Alton Jr., resonated very well with me. You have not chosen the easiest area in which to enter or embark into, e-commerce, with some significant players doing incredible work in that space. Some to highlight for you, because we didn't get to see the rest of your pitch, so we're not sure whether you highlighted them, is ShopRite with their 60/60 offering. There's Zulzi, there's also OneCart, and also salient but not directly competitors to you, it's the likes of Quench and Bottles. So this market of supplying groceries to your home is quite massive as an opportunity, but very underserviced as a product offering. If you had to compare grocery e-commerce versus traditional e-commerce, which is apparel and technology, you cannot even compete or quantify. One of the key things that I would like to highlight for you is that your target audience, students, are quite notorious for not buying groceries. So you might want to review whether that is the true target audience that you'd like to look at. Even though you have 26 universities, but Res Live is such that a huge proportion of those would be getting their daily food from the res that they are in, and those that live in private accommodation or self-catering units would be grocery buyers. Now, the interesting thing about a service like this is that somebody needs to pay for your business to exist, and that puts a premium on the groceries that are purchased by the student, which might make you less competitive in the market as opposed to traditional retailers where the students can go and pick up the stuff themselves. You also spoke about upfront acquisition costs, especially for drivers. I'd like you to evaluate that. And again, I would like to extend our business to give you some insights into that if you are willing to listen to our advice to help you refine your modeling around your e-commerce offering. And we do this as our love for TIA and in our works with the BBC, all pro bono to you. The acquisition costs for the drivers, it's something that you need to look into. There are two types of drivers that are currently commonplace. It's the scooter drivers as well as the car drivers, and they've got different cost models. And you need to look quite well into which one works specifically for you and your target market. Again, a car would be more expensive than a scooter, making your offering to your customer a little bit more expensive in an environment that is quite price sensitive, the student market. The last thing that I wanted to understand from you is your 103 million Rand revenue target that you have. I think it's in 3 years. You know, a grocery startup that I do know quite in depth, they were doing some really good numbers a year ago, and they still didn't hit over 60 million. And for you to be a new entrant in the market and think you're going to be able to do that, you might want to maybe put your targets at a more reachable rate in order to make sure that you get traction first in the market before for growth and more traction. I wish you all the best for this. Again, I put it forth. We are willing to help and advise as best as we can. So please do take the opportunity and we can do our best in helping you. Thank you to Tia once again, and thank you to the BBC for this platform.
Thank you so much, Yongama, and we thank you for your extended helping hand and specifically for your insightful comments. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're now moving on to our final presenter of the day. They say, when winds of change blow, some people build walls and others build windmills. Ladies and gentlemen, Mbangiso Mabaso is our 30-year-old from Botshabelo in the Free State. He's our final presenter for the day, and he is currently a managing director of Sisunda Tech. The project that he is presenting today is Sisunda App Universe. Sisunda App Universe is a bundle of science apps that allows learners to be able to perform science experiments by just using a camera on their smartphones and tablets. The apps can be used by anyone from grades 4 to grade 12 learners, and it makes science engaging, fun, accessible to thousands of learners across Africa. Over to you, Mbangiso.
Thank you for for the introduction, Kanya. I hope everybody can hear me. Yes, my name is Mbangiso Mabaso, and I come all the way from Botshabelo in the Free State, specific J section. That's where I come from. And I believe today it's a super special day for all of us. The reason being is that one day our kids, our nephews, our nieces, they're gonna look back to this day. They're gonna have access to these recordings of these meetings. Actually, that on this day we all took a very important decisions about their future of education, you know, and I think we should all be proud of ourselves for being here and for dedicating our time here, because it really shows that all of us in this call, we are passionate about the future of education, and that passion and ambition and enthusiasm will definitely bear fruitful results. And with that being introduced, I come from Sisunda Tech, and what we do at Sisunda Tech, we are building a bundle of science apps that allow learners to be able to explore their curiosity by just using the camera of the phone. And I'm sure by now you're asking yourself, if is this guy with a beret is the right guy to actually trust on carrying this vision forward? And why would this guy actually do this this project of trying to build a virtual science laboratory? Let me take you just back on my journey in public school, and what you see in all those pictures is basically the schools that I've went from, including my preschool in Mamosa. But I only lasted for 3 months, and my mom felt like I need to be out and come back and learn from the street. And I went all through those schools. I spent most of my time in a school called Prevlick Primary School. And when I was doing grade 6, I have to Mahulo. And later, when I was supposed to go to a high school, then I went to a school called Linyora Tutor, which factory, because in Linyora Tutor, I only spent a day. Then I was expelled, but not because I'm a best student. I was expelled because I was actually taking somebody's space, and that person has to come back and claim their space. But then I went to Ntatele to do my grade 8, and after Ntatele, then I went to Lerato secondary school, where I actually matriculated for. And when I was in Lerato, I was studying science, and I was a very competitive and very hardworking student in Lerato. And each and every day for us, we used to have aspirations as students coming from this environment. We used to have aspirations. We would call ourselves names like Einstein, Michael Faraway, and all these scientific names, Darwin, all of those kind of science names that we are taught about. We would refer ourselves to those kind of people. And there was one day that we really had a heated debate on our physical science teacher, which led us to ask Tatemo Ramhokare to actually give us a permission to go to a science lab. And as a parent, Tatemo Ramhokare, and also as a physistic teacher, he allowed us to go to a science lab. But when we get to the science lab, what we saw was a horror for our life, because we find that in the science lab, or what is called a science lab, the doors were just falling down, and the taps in the science lab were blocked with tissues and all that. And now other teachers were starting to turn it into a staff room, so it's becoming a second staff room of some sort. And the experience, I was not really affected at that point in time, but I got affected when I was doing my my tertiary education, because students who come from a technical school or students who come from a proper model school would be would always show us films. You know, they would always be advanced in terms of how they would do practicals, because I did electrical engineering, and for them to do electrical engineering, or for them to be in a science lab, it was quite an easy thing. And this problem, ladies and gentlemen, it's not only faced by me. It's faced by all my nephews and nieces who are attending the public school and are probably going to the same school that I'm going through. And when I look nationally on a larger scale, if anybody has this problem as well, and I realize actually 72% of grade 5 learners in South Africa, they don't have a basic science knowledge, and of which it has also made that as a South African education system to rank low in terms of grade in mathematics and science studies. In 2015, we ranked low. It was our first time being on those studies. We also ranked low, and in 2019, we also ranked low. And it's also found out there is one of the contributing factors, the fact that 80% of schools, public schools in South Africa, they don't have a science facility or a science lab or learning aids where learners could eventually come and experiment science, because we all can agree, ladies and gentlemen, that science is not a theoretical subject. You really have to build stuff, experiment stuff, combine stuff, make bombs, I mean like super nice bombs that are not harmful to people, so that you can actually understand the concept. And this problem that we are currently facing can also be faced by the fact that we are now in COVID-19, and with COVID-19, public schools are going through a rotational schedule. So what does it mean? It means now learners are spending less time in school, and them spending less time in school, and they're not even allowed to go to a science lab to avoid physical contact on devices. This is also contributing to a problem that can make our future leaders, our future scientists, our future innovators to be left behind, to be competitive with other people coming from other countries. Because I believe all of the kids that we work with and all of the kids that are growing in South Africa have a potential to compete in a global level. So we really need good tools for that. And this is what have led us to actually develop and work on what we call Sisunda App Universe. Basically, Sisunda App Universe, it's a lab on the pocket. It's a powerful lab on the pocket that allows learners to actually project a digital science stuff in front of them. They will be able to manipulate them, dissect them, and do whatever that they want to do with them. We created this lab to give learners a platform where they can have a freedom to actually explore their curiosity, to actually experiment anywhere and anytime. And one of the things that we also love about what we do at Sisunda Tech is that we created this platform so that they can be able to play and learn. So how we deliver Sisunda App Universe, before I get to the demo, is that we deliver Sisunda Universe in 3 methods. The first method is Sisunda App Universe when we combine it together with our C-Cube. C-Cube is basically this puzzle cube that learners could have. It's a puzzle. It's quite interesting to build it from scratch. We've seen parents also embarrassing themselves while trying to build this together with kids. So, but this is not just a cube or a puzzle cube that you could have. Once it meets together with Sisunda App Universe, then it turns out into a different world where learners could eventually start to explore certain things that they could not eventually be able to explore. And we also have another offering whereby we combine Sisunda App Universe together with CT, which is quite beautiful t-shirt, and not because I'm in love with the product that we are making, but because of tens and tens of users who actually bought our t-shirt. They bought it first because they really like the design. Up until they saw what the app can do, then they start to swear words after that. I can't repeat on the call, but when they start to see that it can actually bring the anatomy out of the human, out of the t-shirt itself, they start to say very funny stuff, you know. And we also have our third offering, which is Sisunda App Universe and Tempered. So basically this one, it does work, but without the cube. It just works by just using your phone and by projecting within that environment. And I'm sure by now, ladies and gentlemen, you're just waiting and say, Baso, can you give us the demo? So for the demo, what we can do, you guys can visit us, sisunda.com, and there are links that are ready for you to explore. But if you don't want to go through all those troubles, what I can do now is to actually play the demo from my side. But for those who wants to try our demos are ready on our website. They are ready for you to just play around with that. So here's the demo. Here's the demo to play. Ladies and gentlemen, what you see is the future of education. What you see is what we believe can bring the answers to the problems that we have in terms of getting the quality education to majority of learners. And if you really want to have the hands-on experience with the stuff that we have made, they are already available on our website for you to try it today. And why would you use Sisunda App Universe? The reason being that we built Sisunda App Universe in such a way that it's easy to use and it saves money. By saving money, we refer to that as a school or as a parent, you don't have to always buy the kits to replace the finished kits. These are digital products that will always be endless inside the phone. And we're always going to update the content as well. And another thing is that it's curriculum aligned, because we make sure that we follow CAPS curriculum so that learners could learn what they learn. It's something that they can apply in school. And with what's happening currently, we cannot give full information. We make sure that our content is bite-sized for learners to actually digest it easily, because we are in a generation of 200 characters. So you can't really cross that 200 characters for them to actually understand the concept. And with animation that we use, we're able to improve storytelling, and so that it makes it easy for learners to understand. Most of the people who have used our apps, they said it has improved and increased their memory because they don't have to cram everything. It's in 3D, and that's how our brain functions. Our brain functions in 3D. And it increases engagement, and it also improves collaborations. So lastly, what we do at Sisunda Tech, we also provide lessons on YouTube, on our YouTube, where parents could go and kids could go and teachers could go as well to be able to learn on how to use our solutions. So in terms of traction, since we have launched, we started launching from 2019, but we started 2017, but we started to have product 2019. We have reached impressions of 264,444 that we've managed to reach, and we have total downloads of 950, and we've been awarded the most innovative solution by MTN App Awards. We are also selected Development Bank of South Africa top 10, and African Union Commission also recognized as the top 20 innovators in the continent. In terms of pricing, so for the CQ, the one that I've showed first, for the CQ, and this pricing, ladies and gentlemen, it's for the school lessons. What you see here is for the organization and for the school lessons, but for the parents, get some of the apps for free, but they will have ads on them. So for the school, you can buy this cube for $250 for 30 tablets, because most schools have 30 tablets, and you can get lessons for $2.5 a year. So it means now we'll be able to support you with the updates and all those kind of stuff. And in terms of CT is to, we also made it easy for you to access it on Instagram camera and Facebook camera. So you can just use it for free and start sharing with almost everybody. But the t-shirt will start from 250 because they're really beautiful t-shirt. So they'll start from 250. And in terms of the last one, the standalone experience that we have, the license cost 5,500. So you don't have to buy the cube. This one works on its own without using the cube. So this one will definitely require schools or organization or parents who use latest devices. Hello? Okay. Who use latest devices to actually be able to access it. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, Sisunda Tech is driven by a passionate team of avatars. I'm on top, I'm a managing director and also a game developer at Sisunda Tech. And I also work with a gentleman called Tabos Khota, who is also a developer in Sisunda Tech. And we also have our CQ, which is more of our digital avatars. So we are a creative team that really wants to solve education in the most creative way that will excite learners to think, to be aspirational about the future. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to reach to us. Please feel free to test our product. And we really want you to think deeply about this because this is the future, or this is the future for our kids. This is the future for our niece. This is the future for our nephews. We have to build the product that we know as a school now, but that will lead to what we believe is going to be the school of tomorrow. And with that being said, I would like you, ladies and gentlemen, to always wonder forever, because in that way we'll be able to create good ideas that can spread the generation forward. Thanks.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sisunda, and congratulations on a job well done to you and your team. Take a bow.
Okay, thanks, man.
And now, for some industry feedback, I'd like to call upon Ms. Khopotso, an independent business consultant, to just give us a industry feedback. Over to you, Ms. Khopotso.
Okay, good day. Tate Mabaso, well done.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much for choosing a sector that set the streets of this country alight and has been responsible for our democracy today. Thank you very much for choosing an innovation that will move the needle in terms of us achieving the SDG goals on quality education and us achieving the Africa Development Agenda on education. And we're just a few years ago from evaluating and reviewing whether we've achieved the goals of the National Development Plan on South Africa. What is great about this innovation is that it talks the language of young people, from selfie to science, right? Both of them, what is common is the S letter word. So when young people understand that a S, is a selfie scientist, you have brought the innovation home. T-shirts are cool. They sell on the e-commerce platforms a lot. And you have brought the innovation home. Voila. Kwaito tune in an app. You're talking the language of young people. So there's just a fit about when I or the other young person doesn't want to go into the science class, but when they hear that tune and that Kwaito tune, they're going to say, Ziawa, I'm going into that very class. Congratulations, right? Statistics are showing that 40% of young people that are going to start grade 1 next year are not going to make it to matric. So we have a lifetime bomb in South Africa that the phenomenon and the plaguing challenge of youth out of school with no training, with no skills, that bubble keeps on growing, keeps on growing, keeps on growing. Therefore, your innovation I just want to reaffirm to you that it has got a long-term horizon. So one of the first presented challenges that you have is how are you going to measure your impact? Because when you have carefully chosen that grade, and research shows, and I want to congratulate you on that one, because your innovation is data-led. Studies in South Africa are showing that we've got periods in the life cycle of a young person where they decide to lose interest. And that grade you have picked up is a grade where most young people lose interest. Another grade that is very, very, very critical that we need to look at or consider for you to look at is how you go about balancing the blanket approach, which is every learner in South Africa, 250,000 schools and their beneficiaries. How do you balance that blanket approach vis-a-vis a targeted approach where you are selecting your grades so that you can be able to measure? If you introduce it in grade 12, therefore the young people will be able to pass matric and therefore go into institutions of higher learning. If you introduce it just a year before, the next year the students have to choose a stream, and then you get to measure the extent to which you've got an increased uptake and registration in science. Then the statistics you're having about your adoption will drive your case home about how this really works. Imagine that young person in a informal settlement who sleeps underneath a bed and can be transported to this virtual science lab. It therefore means the future will be equal and every young person will have access to that equitable education. How do you leverage opportunities? The time is now. The world has opened itself up to understand that the only reason amongst the many that we've been able to sustain education is because of technology. So how do you scale now? How do you speak to all the funders and grant organizations that have opened their tabs for once that says we will fund education innovations? How do you involve the teacher in the work that you're doing so that the teacher does not compete with you, but the teacher becomes your partner? You are using Instagram, which is good. You are using YouTube, which are some of the applications that young people are using. However, we know that some of the barriers to uptake of technology is bandwidth, right? How do you get involved and plug your app to ongoing discussions about zero rating digital content for education so that the young person who cannot afford downloads or who cannot afford the subscription can be able to get it? So the recommendations is around campaigning, stakeholder mobilization, so that there is an enabling environment for a larger adoption of your technology. Abilities, right? Let's look into how can you build in those elements, right? Building a competent on teaching young people how to use a technology. We know 1-year-olds teach themselves. So what's going to be interesting is how are young people teaching themselves science, such that they can teach their teachers science. So let this be the app for the learner and let that be the app for the teacher, because it's in the teacher adopting the technology that the impact can be bigger, bigger than what we have. Sisunda, siyanda, ngawe ne-technology yakho. Let the sky be the limit. Be enthused about what you are doing. Commit to it. And remember, numbers are important, but that one young person who got hold of this app and sleeps underneath a bed in an informal settlement, if you have changed the life of that one young person, the replica effects of that are manifold. Well done.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ms. Khopotso. Thank you for your kind and supportive words. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we move on, this was our last and final presentation for the day. And what a wonderful way to wrap up this product launch ceremony. And congratulations to all our innovators. You're all shining stars. We'll certainly be following up on your progress with great interest. And I'm sure we can expect more exciting innovations from you, sustainable projects, and products that are coming into market in the very near future. And thank you and congratulations once again. To close off the event, I'd like to invite Mr. Tsepang Mosia, the Acting Chief Director for Innovation and Inclusive Development at the Department of Science and Innovation, to provide with some closing remarks. Over to you, Mr. Mosia.
Okay, thank you very much, Program Director. I'm very, very proud to be associated with the launch. I think maybe we should take the opportunity and appreciate the presence of our TIA board members who took part today, but also to appreciate the presence of the acting CEO at TIA, the Deputy Director General, Imran Patel, who was here earlier, and also just appreciate the efforts of TIA, a team who's driving this particular program. I think Anita and the team have done an excellent job. And we are really very proud of these young innovators who are very proud and aspiring. We have come through the program and we're able to actually design and successfully develop their product. So thank you very much. I think as DSI, we are excited. I think the initiative is quite exciting. We are encouraged also to see such great impact from the products that have been developed. Clearly, there is a return on investment because the program also is funded through public funds. So we do appreciate this kind of impact. We do recognize that this will not have been achieved without the stewardship of TIA as an organization, but also a very strong agile leadership of the team that is guiding this particular program. We will continue to support the initiative as a department. There's a clear demonstration here that the program is delivering opportunity. The program is also changing lives, and the program is able to create new products and to just bring hope to young people who are saying, in the midst of challenges facing the country, especially unemployment, they can do it by themselves. So we want to continue supporting your hustle as young people and expanding investment on this program and enrolling as many young people as possible. Anita, I don't know, but I feel that these young people who presented are really our trailblazers in the program, and they are demonstrating what is possible if government resources are used correctly and attention is paid to effort that is designed to help young people help themselves. I know there are many challenges in the initiative, Anita, but I feel that there is many more challenges now that we have to face since our young innovators here have got products that are market ready. We now need to look at private sector investment and partnership. And how do we make sure that there is traction in the market, and how do we use other TIA DSI instruments to open a way for these products to reach the market? First time purchase instruments like the TADF, we'll have to explore how we can bring all of that to help these young people. And in closing, I really want to appreciate the presence of our industry partners who are here. We really appreciate you participating, but this also signals a very clear intent that in the future, we do want to forge meaningful private sector partnerships who can be able to support these young people to take their projects and their products into the market. Thank you very much, and everything of the best to these young people who have done very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I appreciate your remarks. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our program for the TIA Grassroots Innovation Program product launch. And once again, congratulations to all our innovators. You are all stars. We'll be following your progress with great interest. And I'm sure we can expect even more exciting, innovative, and sustainable projects in the future. I want to say really keep on hustling. And to all our industry partners, our innovators will really appreciate any kind of support to move their products forward. So please, for B2B meetings, send an email to cynthia.sitole@tia.org.za. I'll put that email address on the chat as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope I've earned the privilege of your time. It's been my greatest honor to be with you this morning. Stay safe, sanitize, maintain social distance till we meet again. Goodbye.